Back time for Joy News Interactive, and Miss G joins me again. Miss G, so take it away quickly.
All right, so join the conversation on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter, and let's interact, Now, the Electoral Commission on Monday filed an application at the Supreme Court to seek review of the High Court's decision squashing their disqualification of the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, PPP, Dr. Papakwesi Indom. The EC says it took the decision in the interest of the public policy and credibility of the electoral process. But many have said the legal tussle may affect the December elections. For example, around this time in 2012, the Commission was ready with ballot papers printed, registers submitted to various parties, and candidates' position balloted. Do you think this will affect the elections? Are we behind schedule?
I think it's a waste of time for Ghana's democracy. I mean, this is not the first time we are having elections.
You see, when you say it's a waste of time, I don't really know what you are talking about, because these are institutions that have been built to take care of such things, and they've been lying dormant for a very long time. Just imagine the suit against the declaration of Mahama as the president. Most people never knew that could be done. So I think this is a very perfect opportunity for us to see how active the institutions we have in this country work.
If we are talking about perfection, I don't argue with that fact. But then you should again know that we are far behind as a country with respect to our...
But if you don't go there and exercise your rights, how are you able to know that it is fine?
As an electoral commission, knowing how many people have filed for presidency with respect to this year's elections, you should have brought the time frame forward so that you orient candidates perfectly so that they don't make such certain mistakes. It's the EC considering its credibility with respect to these elections at all, because as an electoral commission where you are supposed to give guidelines to parties where they follow and then they fill their nomination forms, whatever it is, and then they finish and then you are dragging them to...
You also make of the legal case attached to his disqualification.
When the judges ruled, they were like, mistakes are bound to happen. We are not saying it's good, it's bad, but there are some mistakes that will draw us back democratically. You are an electoral commissioner who is yet to conduct her first general elections in the country. Already, we are having her first
of an individual, that is the electoral commissioner.
I'm not talking about the commission, I'm talking about the commissioner. Already you have a little bit of question marks. People are doubting your credibility and all that and all that.
Things. So how then can you put all the blame on the EC?
Okay. So what do you say to people who say indeed the EC is wasting our resources and time? Because this morning they were fined 500 Ghana cedis because their lawyer failed to turn up for the previous. What do you say to those who say indeed the state's resources is being wasted?
It's even funny when you are an institution conducting elections and then you have dragged a party to court and then you don't even show up. You don't even show up and then you are fined. The taxpayers' money is at stake. You are fined and then whose money are we going to use to pay the courts right now?
Okay. When you talk about the lawyer not showing up, that one is a single case on its own, and I might side with you that is the tax monies that they are using.
All right, so Araba, obviously your take.
Well, I'm hoping that the courts can dispose of the cases as quickly as possible, yes, so that we don't have any issues
will happen
by December 7th. Exactly. Sure. And these concerns are echoed by some of our respondents on Facebook. Adipita Wekia writes, we are really behind time. If care is not taken, the time will be due and the EC will still be battling with court issues. Let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Nana Kofi Amponsa says, court or no court, still waiting for the day. We are more than ready. And that's from Nana Kofi Amponsa. Andrew Akwete writes, not all democracy is speaking. PPP started it. Hope you know that. Well, I really don't understand what you're trying to say by that, Andrew Akwete. And Aziz Donla from UGS writes, the Supreme Court should uphold what the EC is seeking, because some political parties are not serious, and I'm sure that it's in relation to the EC's decision to contest or to appeal the ruling by the High Court in the case against the PPP flag bearer, Dr. Papakwesi Indum.
Okay, true. But before we read our WhatsApp comments, let's go to the next story. And President John Dramani Mahama has indicated that he is unaware of the strike action embarked on by nurses of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. The president, who was speaking on a radio station in the Eastern region Tuesday, told the host he was yet to be informed about the current impasse. But just so you know, the nurses are on strike because they say lack of medical supplies puts them in danger as aggressive patients continue to attack them. What do you make of the president's statements? Is it the case of losing touch with what's happening on the ground, or he's overwhelmed with political activities?
I think Mahama is trying to be an irresponsible. He's sounding as an irresponsible leader here. And he's also power-driven. He's not thinking about us, we, his children.
When you say the statement makes him look like an irresponsible leader, I don't agree with you in the sense that he's a president. There are a lot of needs that are available for him to attend to. And as humans, you are not God. Let me put it that way. Mahama is.
There are lots of need, but this one is a very critical need.
It's
mental
a very
health.
Critical need, and there are other critical needs too as well, which is equally associated with what health. You get me? And this is a very crucial period in this particular country with regards to the elections. And so Mahama saying that he is not aware of what has happened, I mean the action that was taken by the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, I agree with him on that point.
The fault should rather go to his communicators, and I think his minister, because if the father is not there, someone should be there to represent the father.
A lot of issues have been addressed over and over again, and the president is aware. But you know, as a president, they have arms of government, and the way information gets to the president, okay, and the way parliament helps in addressing issues in that regards. But I wouldn't say President Mahama is overwhelmed in any way or form or shape, but he's addressing the situation as it is. I don't think this thing has to be related politically. Let's be factual about the issue of President Mahama not being aware of the issue. When we say information, passing an information, especially with the office of the president, it's a systematic process. I'm not saying the president is not aware of the issue. He might be aware of the issue, but with the strike action they took, he said he's not aware of the strike action that took place at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Okay. We just have to get it straightforward. Okay,
so you are saying it's okay for the president to say he's unaware. You see nothing wrong with him saying, I'm unaware of the situation at the something serious as a mental health. So you see nothing wrong with him saying that?
These are very important and sensitive issues in this country. You see,
no, do you see something wrong with it, yes or no? Do you see something wrong with the president coming? I'm unaware of the current situation.
I see nothing wrong with what the president said.
I see something a very big mistake with it, because even if it is due to internal factors that would make the president come out, he should have a way of saying it. Okay, it could be that, oh, okay, I know about it, blah, blah, blah. Then painting, this public relations, okay? You are trying to tell us that you don't care. The statement tells us that he's not thinking about us. Yeah.
All right, so back in the studio, Araba, do you see anything wrong with the fact that the president doesn't know what's happening?
I'll tell you something I heard. I listened to the full tape, and he indicated that although it had not come to his attention, he was taking steps to resolve it, and that he was speaking to the health minister and the finance minister, I suppose, in order to resolve it. So I guess not everybody had the full length of the tape, but he did indicate that they were taking steps to resolve it. So it's not just that he didn't hear it, but he's also taking steps to resolve it.
All right, but what are people
whether
saying?
We will see anything being done between now and the end of the week, it remains to be seen. Well, but yes, Ajay Kwame writes, at least he told us nothing but the truth. What were you expecting? You wanted him to tell you what he knows. What will have been your politically biased headline then? So that's from Ajay Kwame, who is not too happy with our story that we posted here. Abdul Karim Mohammed Pasiba writes, the president is losing touch with reality on the ground, and he's confused. Is that right? Abdul Karim says he better start packing. Well, that's your opinion. Alice Addo says, why won't he? He's supposed to be our president. When you say he's incompetent to, then he bore. And Asante Bismarck writes, I suppose in response to what Alice just wrote, guys, let's not insult the president. He's just incompetent. He begs you, please. Oh, I thought you were saying we shouldn't insult the president, but you just wrote that he's incompetent. And Ajay Kwame again writes, this is just pure propaganda, Joy FM. Upon all the achievements, is that the only thing that you could use as a headline story? So he's not too happy about the topic that we're discussing. Andrew Akwete writes, the president doesn't lie, he's speaking the truth, but why is everything about the president these days negative? I suppose that's what he's trying to say. And Shipman Osei writes, he can't be aware because he's hot doing his campaign. With this, he wants another term to waste. Chia. And Abdul Said Adams is asking, is it everything the president must know? Abba.
All right, so those are some comments on Facebook, and let's go on to some more stories. Opana will distill you when you criticize him, says President John Dramani Mahama. And as president made the statement whilst addressing party supporters and traditional leaders as part of his campaign tour at Suhum in the Eastern region. Do you think the president is discerning low just to win votes, or is just politics as usual?
As the President of the Republic, we are all expecting, and also as the flag bearer for a political party like NDC, we're expecting you to come out with what you're going to do in the next coming years if you were to be given the opportunity. And so why do you go condemning or be saying such words? I think it was so low, like so below the belt.
I don't see anything wrong with what the president said, because we are in a political season. And then what is politics? Projecting your image and then putting down the image of your opponent.
I would have to debunk what my sister just said. You know, even though it is politics, I don't think politics should come with lies. I feel even if you're doing politics, it should come with the truth. Because if, example as well, he said, she was just saying that Akufo-Addo is also going around making such statements that Mahama is also incompetent. Even though it is politics, it doesn't mean that politics we should be lying to the people. And even if you are lying, you should lie in a way you would not be caught, like how we say it in our local dialect. But in this case, we've all seen that it's not true. How do you tell me that he's going to distill chiefs just like that? We have procedures in which you have to go through.
The question is, do you know what goes behind the scene? What happens? So I think that what we should do is to find out why the president said that. Because the president cannot just stand up and say anything he knows nothing about.
Akufo-Addo is busy going around touring the country. I'm just building a point. He's going around with his policies, things he's going to implement when it comes into power. He's never mentioned even chiefs and those things, because that's not where his focus is. The country, we know some people are saying they are suffering and they want a change of government. And so that's what he's going around with. And so I don't think he would be thinking about distilling someone at this particular point.
Okay, Araba, I'll distill you.
From which
if you don't have me on your show anytime soon.
Okay, I won't kick you out.
Okay, so what are people saying on Facebook?
Well, lots of things. Prince Banks writes, well, in other news, 23 of NDC independent candidates have been sacked from the party. Yet this is a guy who mounts a political platform and calls his opponent a dictator and intolerant. Indeed, whom the gods will destroy, they will make mad first. And Van Walsh Kapel, is that it? Roger says, I beg to differ. Circumstances of such has happened in his leadership as a presidential candidate of our noble party, MPP. Why wouldn't it be used against his campaign train? It means he's simply going to plot as he did to his own party executives.
Okay, so time now to read your WhatsApp comments, and I don't know why the EC is trying so hard to destroy the little trust Ghanaians have for it. EC will be left with zero trust from Ghanaians if they lose the case in the Supreme Court. Even as a teacher, I knew the EC erred based on C1 94. They would lose the case again in the Supreme Court. Bambaki Asamed from Fumbisi, and then Joy have not been fair with President Mahama. You concentrate too much on negative propaganda against him. I'm highly disappointed in your channel. And this is a message for us. But like Araba said, you know, you need to listen to the full tape to know what the issue is. So, Raps.
Yes.
That way for Joy News Interactive.
Okay, thank you, Miss G. Always a pleasure seeing you.